Welcome to stage 3 of the first ever SA Safari Rally. We're outside the town of Stella, which is the midway point of the marathon stage. This is the infamous bivouac where crews had to sort out their own cars and their own accommodation before enjoying a fantastic night under the African skies, where they got to eat great food and share stories, form rivalries, and great friendships. However, there was one common enemy.
How cold was it last night?
Really cold, to be honest. I mean, we survived, but it was a hard day at the office.
Slept like a fetus in a little ball, but we survived. My first time camping in winter in South Africa, to be honest. But yeah, no, it wasn't too bad.
Freezing cold. Let me put in a beanie actually. Before. No, it was, I had 2 sleeping bags, all my clothes on, and I was still freezing. So I woke up at like 5:45. That's when the wake-up call came, but I couldn't sleep any longer. So yeah, we'll see. Had a good day yesterday. Opening, well, first 2 cars to open the stage, so we'll see how it goes today.
The location of this bivouac on the pan outside the town of Stella was indeed cold, but the action that got us here was pretty hot. It was a tough one as crews traveled from Sun City to Stella.
More than 350 kilometers and around 50 of the world's best drivers and navigators took it on. And in the end, 2 crews rose to the top. Guy Bottrell won the stage, followed by Sahud Variawa.
These 2 guys have a few things in common. They're both South African, but more importantly, they both drive South African-built Toyota Hiluxes, widely regarded as one of the best, if not the best, rally raid vehicles in the world.
You come back from Dakar on a high, sometimes on a low. So you've got to build on that. You've got to get stronger. You decide this year, okay, listen, we're going to build 10 or 15 cars. So you get your production up and running, you order your parts for the 10 or 15 cars, and you have to set dates for during the year when you need to deliver the cars. In between that is what we want to achieve this year. What was the problems of the car during the Dakar, during the year, and start pinpointing those and trying to fix those as well. Then also you need to push the limits of the rules.
I'm in charge of the design of the vehicles, basically from the ground up. So I work with a team of engineers. Technically it is a Hilux because we do work directly with Toyota. So we basically take the ethos of the Hilux, reliability, dependability, and we basically try and take that and improve on it for off-road racing because it is a different environment. So there's obviously rules from the FIA. The South African Motorsport follows the FIA rules in the class, so at least we're only working to one set of rules. We have limits on how wide the car can be, how tall, driver safety, and then we build it into the car. So we start with a production Hilux, and then we basically morph from there. For example, our existing car is wider. The actual wheel arches are quite a bit wider. The wheelbase is similar. We run a 6-speed sequential gearbox. The engine we run is from the Land Cruiser, the 3.5 V6. Because the FIA monitor the amount of power you make with a torque meter, and that follows a specific curve. Toyota are leaning more towards the turbocharged engines now. In the future, who knows what they're going to be bringing out. I hear it's quite exciting. Obviously, we try and work with Toyota what they want to promote. The Hilux is the core brand, and Land Cruiser does really well in South Africa, so you're sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
We manufacture 95% of that parts in-house, from the diffs to drive shafts to every single part that goes into this car except the gearbox and parts of the engine we manufacture in-house. So everything comes together on a certain time, chassis gets done, parts get done, and then we have an assembly department that assembles the car. If you look at the racing all over the world, the stats say that it's 50 or 60% of all the race cars on the field in Dakar are manufactured in South Africa. Yeah, we're pretty proud of what we do.
Also the rules that change all the time. So now for 2027, there's now new rules coming out for the driver's seat that needs to be on a damper. So you need to change the whole cockpit of the car, but you might as well then now do more. You need to now design a whole new car to take the Hilux another level. You're not always going to build a car straight out of the box faster than what you've got, but you can put a lot of the small details together, test it, and then bolt onto that. And you always have your old car as a reference car. So that's what we now need to achieve as well, is to develop the new car and get it better.
At the moment, we're roughly about just over 50 people. You know, some of them are guys working in the stores, people assembling gearboxes, drivetrain, guys building engines. We have a lot of technicians on the cars themselves, because we also manufacture and sell to customers, mainly overseas in Europe.
There's a lot of people, Ford, Dacia, all those guys built cars and thought they're going to come out the blocks and beat the Hilux. It wasn't that easy. It's not known terrain that the guys race on. It's obviously changing, evolving the whole time. So you need to have the best of all terrain for a car to be able to race. Each driver always wants the best. So you start training your mechanics to attend to those needs for the driver. The driver is a special guy, but so is your mechanic, because if your mechanic is not happy with the driver, you're not going to have a good car at the end of the day. So you need to put mechanics that can bond with the drivers and get that personal relationship, and to keep the guys positive. You spend 9, 10, 12 hours a day with a person at work that you need to work closely and also wants to push the limits. This is your family. This is my racing family.
I did a lot of local races in karting, won a lot of them, and then for 4 years straight I did international racing in the karting. We bought a Super Cup just to maintain the track racing. And my first year I was Rookie of the Year, a lot of podiums. And then at the end of that year, Toyota called me to drive their touring car, and just a test. And I went for the test and I was just as quick as the drivers. And 2023 we won the championship in touring car. And I started racing the Hilux mid-2023. I got a podium in my first year. I went to Dakar, youngest ever factory driver. We did this year's Dakar. It was actually really good. We had an issue on day 2. It cost us 8 hours, so we were out of the contention. But we had a lot of good results. We had a P3 in a stage win. I became the youngest ever stage winner in the history of Dakar. A lot of learning, a lot of experience gained. Yeah, looking forward to racing against the top guys, yeah.
I don't deal much with the drivers anymore. I've sort of stepped out of that role and I manage the team. I spearhead the team where we need to go. But I have the tiers underneath me that control the team. Those are the guys that actually run the team in their respective fields. They communicate with drivers. So the main driver communication initially goes from driver to Michael or driver to Connor. If there's a serious problem, then I can choose whether to get involved or not to get involved. With regards to my son being in the team, he's treated like any other driver. He reports to the necessary people. Family is one thing, but when we're doing it at this level, we need to, with other drivers and stuff like that, you need to keep it equal.
It's really a team sport. The mechanics themselves, they play a big role in your results, and also your teammates. I mean, you have to be one with them as well.
Now that you're at the top, everybody is chasing you. But now you still need to have that mindset to keep fit and to be able to stay in that shape and to push himself harder every time.
So we have a 3.5 litre V6 twin turbo. We also have special dampers for the car. We have 350 mils of travel. In the ruts, we can really go for it. We have 37-inch tires, so it all adds up to what it can take.
To get something better than what we have, it's a tough one. You know, if you look at it, the Toyota has won every single race in the world. Both from this facility and the previous facility. We've won Dakar, we've won the World Championships. Now on to the next challenge. We need to take a new baby and from the embryo stage and now turn it into something wonderful.
So it's pretty clear that the South African crews have some of the best equipment at their disposal to shine on the World Rally Raid stage. However, they are up against some of the best drivers and navigators in the world. And this is the next battlefield as we head into stage 3. From Stella, the crews will have to travel around 250 kilometers as they take on the special stage, after which they'll have to negotiate around 260 kilometers to get back to the glitz and glamour of Sun City. Once again, let's go racing.
Welcome to stage 3 of the South African Safari Rally. Last night took the riders and drivers to the marathon camp in the heart of the wilderness. Well, let's rewind to yesterday afternoon when the bikers arrived at the marathon camp. The Rally GP boys had 30 minutes to work on their machines before they were locked up for the night. It was a busy one in particular for Ross Branch after he broke his oil cooler on stage 2. Well, once the bikes were sorted, it was time to set up the tent and settle in for a cold night.
Welcome to 5-star. Yeah, we get a mattress.
Well, Daniel Sanders was first off the line this morning, but could anybody catch the overall leader? It was great to see Branch back out there after he successfully patched up the hero. And not only did he get going again, he was absolutely flying, posting the best split times midway through the stage. He had to manage the oil a bit and didn't want to push too hard, but he still came in third fastest. There was another solid performance from Bradley Cox on the factory Sherco. Considering he only clocked a few hours on the bike before this rally, the South African's acquitting himself very nicely indeed, 7th on the stage.
Today was good. I had a good rhythm from the start and pretty much kept it there. I caught Nacho quite early on and we rode the whole day together. Some tricky nav at the end. Every day getting comfy on the bike. I think this is the main goal.
The race for the overall podium is hotting up and Ricky Brabeck wants to be on it. The American tried to push in the last 60k or so, but it didn't go quite as planned. A crash and then exhaust issues, but he still did enough to go third overall ahead of his teammate Adrian van Beveren. Now, time for a hot shower and a good night's sleep. Once again, though, it was Red Bull KTM laying down the law. Luciano Benavides is adapting well to South Africa and said he really enjoyed the day. He was even topping the timesheets at kilometre 90. And while he ended up surrendering a little bit of time later on, he did strengthen his grip on second place overall. But right now, there's nothing anybody can do to contain Daniel Sanders. The 30-year-old opened all day long, but despite the navigational challenges that brings, he was still the fastest man on two wheels. After Morocco, Dakar and Abu Dhabi, Chucky is on course for a 4th straight overall win.
A lot of animals there today. I'm pretty sure I saw everything. A lot of traffic on the track with the animals, but we just had to push through the day and try not to lose any time. And in the end, we made some time, so it was really good. Yeah.
Sanders winning by 1 minute 37 from Benavides and 2:39 from Branch, with Brabeck and Van Beveren making up the top 5. The two KTM riders are now separated by 2 minutes and 48 seconds overall, with the chasing Honda trio all losing ground today. Another day and another victory for Edgar Canet in Rally 2. The young KTM rider is absolutely running riot, and even if he made a few rookie mistakes today, he extended his overall lead to more than 18 minutes. Well, Canet admits that he is really comparing himself now to the top guys in Rally GP.
The riders in front, he's 2 steps in front of me, I think, now, but yeah, he's trying to arrive there. Keep pushing, keep training, and yeah, of course, one day you want to be one of the top riders.
Roy Barbosa enjoyed his best day of the rally so far. The Chilean says he isn't really focusing on his results this week, but simply on improving his navigation. After struggling to find the right lines yesterday, he was happy to get through without any major issues, finishing in 3rd place. Home hopeful Moritz Meiring was a last-minute entry to this safari rally, and he also impressed today in 5th place. The South African has an enduro background, and now he's trying to get to grips with Rally Raid. So far, so good. He sits in 6th place overall. Canet winning the stage from Mike Doherty with Barbosa third. Tobias Ebster got some time back today due to a malfunctioning roadbook, and he was fourth. In the overall, Canet leads Ebster by 18 minutes and 16 seconds. Back to yesterday's marathon camp, with the ultimate crews giving their vehicles a once-over after a grueling stage. No time limit, but a limit to what you can do. And with no assistance teams or service parks, the atmosphere is rather unique.
It's something so nice because we are all drivers together in a beautiful place. Really nice to have this kind of moment all together. This sport is, for this kind of moment, this sport is really, really amazing compared to other sports. So this is why I'm here and this is why I enjoy.
Frost greeted the drivers this morning after a very chilly night in the tent, with temperatures of only a few degrees Celsius.
I tell you, it was very, very cold. That's the summary of it. I didn't expect to be that cold, but yeah, we managed and are ready for the second legs of the marathon.
It was certainly better to start further back today and have some rabbits to chase. And between
Good program.
Yeah, always, eh? Yeah. Looks different from the top.
Cheers, lads. We do our best. Now, there was a bit of everything out there today for the Toyota Gazoo racing team, who still have 3 crews in overall contention. Seth Quintero was the overnight leader, but he lost more than 10.5 minutes. He wasn't too unhappy about it, though, and said the car was amazing. The American planning a big push tomorrow. Lucas Moraes has been flying under the radar, but he briefly led the rally today until a 1-minute speeding penalty dropped him to 4th. But the Brazilian is still on the hunt, and so too is Henk Latergen. The South African's charge was hindered by a broken drive shaft, but he is only 30 seconds off the lead. It's a proper roller coaster.
No, to be honest, this race is crazy because we are starting always in 6 or 7 and we finish 6 or 7 and the guys are first, 15, second or 14 and we are there. So I hope we can keep doing it, and tomorrow we are in a great position. And yeah, the car is unbelievable. So tomorrow, big push again.
Well, Carlos Sainz has been on that yo-yo that Moraes just described. Second on stage 1, 12th yesterday and second again today. El Matador is happy to have found his rhythm quickly after several months out of the car. Not the best starting position tomorrow, but he says you can only push and see what happens. Sebastian Loeb described this as a difficult day, but by the end of it, he was actually leading the Safari Rally. The Frenchman finished up 4th quickest and said he was happy with the performance of the Dacia Sandrider. Now he just wants to bring the car to the finish line with the best possible results.
I was not so happy in the stage finally, but at the end I think everybody struggled a bit in the stage because it was really difficult. So yeah, now we are leading the rally. That was a surprise at the end of the day, but it's a good news. So we'll know it's two long days to go, but at the moment it's going well.
We haven't spoken too much about Martin Prokop this week, but the Czech privateer has been his usual consistent self in or around the top 10. He got his car, Shrek, safely through the marathon despite gearbox and braking issues. He only trails the leader now by 4.5 minutes. He is lying in 9th place overall. Mattia Serradori had big mechanical problems yesterday, which meant a late night of repairs at the marathon camp and setting off today in 48th place. But he did a brilliant job slicing his way through the traffic to post the 3rd fastest time. The Frenchman enjoying the challenges here in South Africa. He says this rally is an extraordinary experience. But the fastest man on the day ahead of Sainz and Serradori was Nasser Al-Attiyah. The Qatari's overall hopes took a huge blow yesterday when he incurred a 15-minute penalty for missing a waypoint. Without that, he would have a handsome overall lead.
a lot of navigation in the stage, and we don't take any risk, but okay. I'm quite happy, you know, to win the stage. Except yesterday, the 15-minute penalty. This has put us like completely out of the podium. But still 2 days, I will try to do my best, you know, tomorrow.
Alatir beating Sainz by 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the day, with only 8 minutes and 5 seconds separating the top 10. It is incredibly close overall, a measly 56 seconds between the top 4 crews. Adam Kush was putting it all out there in the challenges today, powering his way to 3rd place on the stage. The pole is also up to 3rd overall after Pau Navarro lost more than half an hour. Nicolas Cavigliasso is determined to extend his overall lead in the W2RC. He's been playing it smart, not pushing too hard to bring the car home in one piece. 2nd place today. But victory went to David Zile, who praised both his team, BBR, and his co-driver, Sebastian Cesana. It's his 2nd stage win of the week, and he leads by nearly 3 minutes. Khalifa Alatir was 4th fastest for the NASA racing team, only 20 seconds behind Kush, with Danya Akil closing out the top 5. It's tight at the top, 2 minutes 56, separating the top 2. Jose Nogueira took his best result of the week in the SSVs, finishing 2nd. But it was a day of mixed fortunes for the Old Friends Rally team, as their W2RC leader, Alexandre Pinto, lost almost 50 minutes. The stage victory went to another Portuguese driver, Mario Franco, who has been improving day by day. He and his co-driver, João Miranda, did a fine job to conquer this tough outing by more than 7 minutes.
A very difficult stage, but we work together and we win. It's very happy. I'm very happy, and work to in the final win.
Axel Chinotto and Gayoso completed the top 5, with Pinto down in 9th, but ahead of his biggest W2RC rival Enrico Gaspari. Franco leads Axel by 10.5 minutes overall.
The beauty of the South African Safari Rally is that it gives local crews the opportunity to compete on the international stage. Yes, you get South African stars of the likes of Henk Ladekan and Janelle de Villiers to do this week in and week out, but for others, it's their opportunity to live their dream.
These guys and girls are hardcore competitors that are used to doing fierce battles on South African soil 24/7. But having an international event of this magnitude on our doorstep is certainly a dream come true for them, as they get the chance to share the stage with some of their heroes.
You won't believe it, it's actually a dream came true for myself in the Luf. What an experience last night, sitting around the campfire with all these big names in the motor industry or the motor sport industry. It's an absolute fantastic event.
No, it's still a bit unreal. We're enjoying it very much. We're just here for the fun, and so far it's been a hell of an adventure. So no, we enjoy it.
It's a wonderful experience. The vibe is exactly as that guy. We've all been there, you guys been there, and this is exactly the same vibe, and the names and everything that's happening, that navigation, the racing, exactly, it's copycat. Although it's just a very short version of 3,500 k's, but what an experience and a half. I'm telling you, as a South African, to be here right now, proudest moment.
While these competitors were enjoying the opportunity to share the soil with their heroes, youngster Jaden Els was enjoying the chance to not only race them, but to also beat them, until bad luck hit.
200 k's in, we lost power and we couldn't understand what. We stopped and then we saw smoke. We went through the electronics and then we saw the turbo end. So we decided to call it because we still had 150 k's to go for the stage yesterday, and then still 250 stage kilometers to go today with a liaison of another 250. So we would never have made it and maybe destroy an engine. So yeah, the team was busy the whole day trying to fix the car. and hopefully we can go out tomorrow. We are going out tomorrow, and hopefully post some good stage times.
Franschhoek-based driver Pik Klaassen was also in a fight for a podium position in her respective class.
Oh my gosh, that was a really long 2 days and a very cold 2 days. So really happy to have made it back, and also the car, it's not here now, but car's like one piece, which we were obviously taking it easy, so we didn't have to work too much yesterday, and I'll just bring it back today. So overall pretty happy.
3 down, and we've officially passed the halfway mark of the SA Safari Rally. And with just 2 stages to go, and given how tight things are at the top, it's still anyone's game.